Welcome to the Freedom Chronicles.
Definitely an antisocial type.
Only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger.
Hi, perhaps you recognize me. It's your favorite president.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
We got a loudspeaker here, and when we go into battle, we play music very loud.
With a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Freedom Chronicles. I'm your host, Mike Imbasciani. Welcome back to another episode. We are, of course, broadcasting from the Brian Chapman State Farm bunker right here in Southwest Florida. And like a good neighbor, Brian Chapman State Farm is there for all of the insurance needs that you have for your very own bunker. Give his office a call at 941-625-9998 or visit the office at 2040 Tamiami Trail in Port Charlotte. With us, as always, Mr. Ken Lovejoy, and for the first time, new guest and somebody younger than me. His name is Leonardo Trent. Leonardo, welcome to the show.
Hi, Mike. I'm glad to be.
How's
I'm
it
glad to be
going,
on.
kid?
So you're 18 years old. Tell us all about yourself.
Who are you?
What are you doing? Who are you?
Okay.
Who
Yes.
are you? Who's the young person?
Who are you? Why are you here? I don't want solar.
Well, I'm not going to talk to you about solar here today, but well, anyways, I'm Leonardo Trent. So as mentioned, I'm 18 years old. I'm a junior in Charlotte High School, and I'm pretty evolved from my age with the politics here going on in Charlotte County and the Republican Party. I am the president of the Charlotte High School's Republican Club.
Good
and,
for you. That's cool.
And I started the club this with much pushback from the administrators and lots of problems with the school
Really?
board going on. And
Yeah.
Now, are there Democrat clubs?
no, that's not the Democrat Club. So basically what they did was to try to get my club off the campus was that they lied to me and not protect the Equal Access Act by saying that there's no partisan clubs allowed on campus. You can't have a partisan club in Charlotte High School whatsoever. So I went on and said, okay, what about an America First Club? And then they were like, all right, you can have the America First Club. And then we are about to have our first meeting. And then right when we were about to have our first meeting, the assistant principal came and said, oh, you can't be America First Club. That's Nazi. That's racist. So,
Wow.
So they said
The assistant principal of Charlotte High.
yes, the assistant
What is the
principal,
assistant principal's name again?
What's his name?
Mr. Tenney.
Tenny.
Tanny.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and so that's kind of what I want to dig into, because you're on the front lines of the school right now.
Yes,
you
I
know, and that is Charlotte High School behind you. Where you hear these things about the school board, you know, both Ken and I know people that deal with the school board and with the school system here in Charlotte County, and they would say, oh, you know, there's none of what you see happening across the country in other states. That's not happening here in Charlotte County. And I think it's important to point out that you're experiencing that pushback, and why they might say, well, yeah, you know, a partisan club is allowed, but you still get that pushback anyway because it's coming from individuals.
Yes.
So what did you have to do, and how did you finally get the green light?
So I had to get the green light by basically bringing in my friend. His name is Dave Kalin, who informed me of this equal access law that is at state statute and federal statute that protects any club from being formed in public schools. So he had to come
Dave
in.
Galen running
Yes.
for supervisor of election
Yeah.
in 2024 here in
Yes.
Charlotte County.
Yeah, he's running for supervisor of elections, and I wish him best of luck.
Yeah.
He helped me out a lot throughout this past year, and I did help him when he ran for county commissioner in 2022. So,
Great.
Getting back on topic, he had to come into the school and had a little discussion with Mr. Tenney, saying,
We're gonna have a little sit down and talk about the actual freedoms.
Come to
Yes.
Jesus, Mr.
he had to
Tenney.
lecture him about this law and the freedoms it provides to anyone in the club, and he basically he was silent. Mr. Tenney was silent after that because he allowed us to have the Republican Club right after that.
Good.
Yeah.
So now what is the actual title of the club?
It's a Young Republicans Club.
Okay, good.
Next year, we're going to change it to High School Republicans because we're being affiliated with the National Federation of High School Republicans.
Oh, good.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Now,
And-
are there just, are there any other, what other clubs are there at Charlotte High?
Well, there's a
a
Pride Club. They don't give
Of course.
don't give enough pushback on
can't
that.
have- no pushback there. They can have all the members they want. In fact, I would imagine the assistant principal probably is a member.
Is a member. Yeah.
Well, she's a guy, so.
Jeez. Well, that's awesome. So, how's the club doing? How's it going? And how is your message being received with?
I got to speak at the club a couple weeks ago.
Did you?
Yes,
I
he
did. So
Look
thank
at
you,
you.
Leonardo, for the invite. I appreciate it.
they grow so
I know.
fast.
I started off my talk by Ken. You probably remember this movie more so than Leonardo. What was it? The Freshman with Matthew Broderick and Marlon Brando, and Marlon Brando visits Matthew Broderick at his dorm room, looks around the dorm room, and goes, "So this is college, huh? I didn't miss nothing." And I'll tell you, I don't know how you kids find your way around that school, because man, it's a maze. It's so easy to get lost. All the walls look the same.
Exactly, it is easy to get lost.
Yeah, I didn't go to college, but we our swim team swam at several colleges.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even go to I was homeschooled my whole life, so I didn't spend a day in public school. So being in a high school for the first time,
Bravo,
I'm glad
sir.
I didn't have to spend a day in high school. But no, Leo, it's cool to see that. And what you talk about, you're in band. What instrument do you play again?
I play alto saxophone.
Alto saxophone, very nice. You're saying you're getting pushback even from these other students.
Yes, I am. So, in the band class, I'm not really well liked. No one talks to me. So, and that's because I'm not like them. Like I'm just so much different from them. I'm more conservative. I'm more concerned about serious business, not acting very immature or gay as some of them are. Well, people would think that like a theater class would be the class with all the gay people.
Right.
But
You would
it's
think,
true.
come
You
on!
you would think. But
That's where it is.
And that's where you go to meet the girls, because
But
all the guys are
man,
gay.
come on, man, really?
But yeah, they've corrupted band class.
Yeah,
now,
they
huh?
corrupted band class now and choir too. Maybe the people would have
Now,
expected
are these
choir.
people
Yeah.
really gay,
Yeah.
or are they just faux?
Are they just
are there,
like
are there,
confused?
They probably
confused?
are confused, but I've actually seen cases where many of them started out as non-binary, but later on I see them dressing more feminine nowadays. Like a lot of these women, they start off non-binary, they don't look feminine whatsoever, but then months later,
And they go to prom and a prom
they
dress
go
anyway.
they go prom in a prom dress, and now they're starting to embrace their feminine self. So it's just
So
a phase.
see, folks,
So a lot
they
of them-
grow out of
exactly.
it. They become women
Exactly.
again.
And that's why you want to outlaw any transgender reassignment surgery for anybody under the age of, I'd say 21, but
Yes.
18.
When
I'll
we
take.
get into the news, I have some stories that are
Well,
coming
actually,
out now.
preferably, I'd rather be banned, just like
I
be
would
declared
too.
medical
I would too.
malpractice.
Yeah,
I think it's
exactly.
butchering. I think it's butchering.
Yeah.
But I think the best we can hope for now is to protect the children.
Yeah, of course, children are at the forefront, and they're the ones being harmed the most. So we just gotta push the window a little bit, and then we can gain some common sense.
Yeah. Well, and Leo, this is the sort of thing. Like, I'm 26, and when I was high school age,
Back in your day.
yeah, I mean, let alone back in Ken's day, but back in my day, I
I'll
had
tell you,
friends.
the 70s were wild.
Ken had hair. It was a wild
I did.
time.
I had hair. I had
My dad
mustache.
told me
I had
all
a
of-
mustache when I was 17. I was buying beer in Idaho.
I
It was
know.
awesome.
I know. My dad told me all about it. He went to high school in the 70s.
Yeah. But, even when I was high school age, I had friends that went to Charlotte High, Port Charlotte High. None of this was happening.
Oh yeah.
This
course.
has only been a phenomenon within.
Yeah.
I've been doing my show for 16 years,
Mhm.
and it's only been a phenomenon since the Obama administration.
Yes.
That's when it really broke away.
His
It was
second term.
around, but it was but prior to the Obama administration, it was a known mental illness,
Right.
studied at Johns Hopkins for over 55 years. And we know that after 55 years of research, whether they get the surgery or not, you got a 40% shot of offing yourself.
Yes.
And so that right there, it's a mental illness. And look, they show us every day in the headlines that it's a mental illness just by being them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And to suggest otherwise is sophistry, and it's evil, really.
It
To foist this upon kids in Charlotte High, in any high school, you know it's happening in California and in the blue states and in the blue cities. And I've always said it's happening here. You're just not seeing or hearing about it.
Well, now you're hearing about it.
Well, we've had, and what about the other teacher out in Englewood? Remember the one who went on TikTok?
Yep.
Charlotte County teacher. So good.
Oh, is that Lemon Bay?
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
Lemon Bay. Yeah.
Well, and it's more than the trans issue too. I mean, it's just the fact that you had to fight so hard to get the club in the first place. Now, you talked about trying to do outreach to other high schools, and just across the bridge, OTB, to Port Charlotte High School. And I said, well, they have a Republican club, don't they? And you said they don't.
They don't anymore.
They don't
used
anymore.
to. They used to.
Exactly. And I know the person, I knew her father. Her father passed away a couple years ago, but she's in her mid to late 30s now, PhD. She became a liberal, and it was college that corrupted her, unfortunately. But when she was in high school, it's, usually what happens. But when she was in high school at Port Charlotte High, she was very conservative, and she was the one that started that Republican club at Port Charlotte High School. And like I said, she's in her mid to late 30s. It wasn't that long ago, and it's already gone.
Yeah, that's a sad
And now you have to fight all over again to get it back.
Man, maybe I should make her Trader of the Week. So.
Bingo.
Right.
If you were looking for one, there it is. You don't take it, I will.
Yeah. But, as far as teacher pushback, I mean, the teacher who was with the club there when I spoke was very nice, and it's nice to see that support as well. How has that been? Have you heard anything? Or are they just like shutting up about it anyway, and they're not looking at you either? But what is that like?
So in regards to the teachers,
some do, some don't, right?
Yes. Actually, most of the teachers at Charlotte High School are Republicans, in fact.
Really?
And they are conservatives, and they do support the club, but they can't say anything about it, despite it being their First Amendment right to express their feelings, their opinions. They can't say anything. The administration could threaten their jobs. I had one of these teachers tell me, when I was gathering a petition to move the graduation, they even that, it's even something that is not really that divisive or that political.
That shouldn't be.
Yeah, that shouldn't be. I handed out to one of the teachers. They were like, I'm sorry, I do support what you're doing, but I can't sign it. My job could be threatened. The administration is violating these teachers' freedoms. That's
with
what
gag
doing.
orders, essentially. Yeah, or threaten of being fired. Yeah. Sad.
Hey, and people ask me, Ken, why do you keep saying get your kids the hell out of K-12 public school?
Yeah. Homeschool your kids. I know, I see you bubbling.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
right
it
there.
is. It is why.
What he's saying.
But again, we commend you. We applaud you for
very
bringing the fight to them.
It's a noble cause, and you're following your heart, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you're being you, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad what I do. I'm proud of it.
Good.
And
as you should be.
So how many people in the club?
We started off small. There's about 5 total in the club right now. But next year we should expect more after we do our trip to Port Charlotte, and then we get more from FFA when one of my friends is gonna be president of that club. He's gonna be advertising the club, basically helping me out.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Awesome. Well, and what I said when I was there is and like you said, the liberals who are in the kids in the school, they don't have the balls to make their own club anyway.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I wish
literally,
I wish
they don't
they
have
could.
to, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish
if the administration and all the kids seem to be on board with the same thing. Why?
Yeah.
Why do they need a club?
Many of these the liberals at the school wouldn't have the balls to start a partisan club and tell straight to the face of the administrators that they're liars. But so,
Yeah, right.
like, I wish they did start a club. We could have a debate. Like, that would be a good thing.
But they
So-
don't want to debate.
Yeah, they
And
don't
like
wanna
I said when
debate.
I was
They
there, is
can't.
they don't want to
can't
debate.
Yeah.
And you're not going to change their mind like those leaders, and they're not going to change your mind. But you're in those halls every day. You're surrounded by the people that are unfortunately may or may not be on the fence. And you have to, again, just say to them every day, what are you unhappy about, and why do you think Joe Biden is going to help you? Or
Yeah.
what has been happening the last 3 years that you want more of, as Mason Weaver's been saying? What do you want more of? And
Well,
remember
well,
how good everything was when Trump was in?
well, of course they do, but they
Yeah.
don't want to admit it.
Right. Yeah, of course.
So what are your plans? You're going to be a senior next year?
Yes, I'm going to be a senior next year.
What do you want to do after that?
So last weekend I was in Washington with the Bull Moose Project in this candidate training summit with all the young conservative leaders across America who want to run for public office. And I attended that meeting because I thought about running for school board. So and then I learned how to run a campaign. How you need fundraising, and this is actually an advantage in Charlotte County. Old people love young people like me and get going out and being
You
involved.
hope.
So I'm thinking,
Yeah.
so I'm thinking maybe I'll run for school board. I'll say more later about run for school board, but I'm really entertaining the idea right now.
There you go, folks.
Why
A
not?
Freedom Chronicles exclusive, Leonardo Trent for Charlotte County School Board.
Yeah, I get most of the candidates on my show.
Yeah.
And and most of them have been incumbents lately.
Yeah. Right.
And I've asked them, you know,
Unopposed.
my
Have you
main-
got almond tree?
my main bitch is why now
Back in my day,
when I was going to school, we had an AV club, and we handled all the stuff. We had closed circuit TV in the school. It was black and white, but we had closed circuit TV in the school. We had back then we had the big Betamax tapes.
Ooh,
We had
nice,
the big machines right there, and that was in junior high school, 7th, 8th, and 9th.
And you're learning that stuff.
And then in high school it's like that. I can't understand why the school board, with all the money that we give them, it's the biggest tag on your trim notice is schools, and why they don't have their own CCTV channel just like the county does.
Yeah.
And why they don't broadcast live stream on YouTube like the county does, and have it right there. The school
they
board
don't
goes
want the people to know
exactly.
what's
That's
going
it.
on.
That's it. And I've been trying to bully them into it. And Kara Reynolds, school board member, has been, we're doing it. That's one of my priorities.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It has nothing. The ball hasn't moved an inch.
Oh yeah, like when you go to the building and like go into the school board meeting about to enter, it's actually really hard to find the building. Like it's really,
They want
high school.
difficult. Yeah.
It's like they don't want you to know.
Yeah, they don't want
They
you.
don't
to know.
want you to know.
And then when you get up and put your citizen input question, you have to state your home address. That's ridiculous. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Well, they do in a way. I can kind of understand that.
I want to make sure you live there.
Yeah, yeah, because you know. All right, you go to the end of the line.
Yeah.
we'll get to you if we get to
We'll
you.
get to
If you
far
live in
Englewood
Sarasota.
later.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just say, oh, you live in Punta Gorda, you live in Port Charlotte, you live in
Yeah, right.
Englewood.
Yeah.
But
What's your zip code?
But yeah, but they say what's your zip code?
Yeah.
Zip code. What's your home address? And you have, and these videos are posted online. You can go to like Charlotte County School Board and through their website, you can find those videos and you can find out where all
but
these
it's
people
always
live.
it's
Yeah.
always well after the fact.
Oh, yeah.
It's always well after the meeting.
After they've had the vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
you were up in DC. What was that like for you? And what was the
What'd you
biggest thing
learn?
you saw of the city itself? And then what did you learn? What was the most important information?
Well, I've
you
already
got?
been to DC many times, so nothing much new to see. In fact, I
Yeah.
didn't even see the White House. I barely even saw Congress. I just came for the Bull Moose projects.
Did you see Hunter? Did anybody find out where
I'm
Hunter
glad
is?
I didn't. I don't want to be around his drugs.
Yeah.
Not really. So, Bull Moose Project, they're actually a really organized group. The president, nice nice guy, great man. Um, they really do help with the candidate training, and the Bull Moose Project. Their namesake is Theodore Roosevelt. That's kind of their icon. Theodore Roosevelt was a populist.
The Bull Moose Party.
The Bull Moose. Yeah, the populist, progressive, not progressive as it is right now, but progressive, much better back in the day. Different type of progressive, right? And they really want to run like more America First type candidates, and and we're all America First here. So, they want to run these candidates, and they put a lot of money. They have the 1776 PAC with Ryan Gerdusky helping out with these school board candidates, winning a bunch of races lately with the school board, funded by the 1776 PAC. So
good,
it's a great thing they're doing.
Interesting.
Excellent.
Very good. And one last question before we get into the music break and some of the news. What got you to be a conservative? Was it your parents? Was it stuff you were seeing? And how long have you been a conservative?
Well, fun fact, my parents are not very conservative. So,
really?
My dad, he's still a registered Republican, but he's the type of voter who votes for all the neocons and these in the swamp and the establishment, and just turned away from the party once Trump got in there. He voted for Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden.
So he's not going to watch this podcast.
No. Well, I'm gonna force him to. I'm gonna force him to. And
very interesting.
So low unemployment, low taxes, and a great economy turn your dad off. Okay.
Yep.
Right.
That's right. I actually started off the same as him. When Trump ran for president, I was 10 years old, and all the information I got for politics at that time came from my dad, and he was watching CNN. So, of course, I was going to have a very biased, negative opinion on Trump and the conservative movement, the Republicans. And it was when I started doing my own research around when I was actually 14.
Wow.
I was actually more active and more paying attention to politics than the other people around my age. So it was actually around 14 when I paid attention to a bunch of conservatives, like Hunter Avalon. He's not much of a conservative anymore. He aged really poorly, but so
well, some do.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Was there like one full moment that was that switch for you? That was that light bulb moment, or?
So when I was around 10 and 11, I've had 10 to 13 years old. I had a little atheist phase. So that's my life was really life is miserable without God. So I had a little depressive moments and little sad moments, and I paid attention to the Bible. I got really into the Bible, and I got into Christianity and started going to church and stuff like that. And I paid attention to conservatives too. And then I suddenly pushed more and more myself to the right as I educated myself more, like what God really meant. Like before, when I was really, really young, like a child, I believed in God, but I didn't know why God was important. It was until I was about 14 when I found out why God was important. And I listened, and at the same time, I listened to a bunch of conservatives, and I thought it just made sense. And I became a Trump supporter, and I rejected everything from the left and everything CNN told me, and everything all the information that my dad told me. I rejected that. Now I kind of get into a little debate sometime with him.
I bet that's interesting.
Oh yeah, healthy debate over dinner. Well, excellent. And more people need to turn to God. I think. Have you met Mason Weaver yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay, yeah, so you know. Fantastic. Anyway, all right, we're going to take our little musical break here, and then we'll come back and talk about some of the somewhat big news that's been happening around the country here. But, of course, folks, this show is sponsored by the Local Meat Club by Tyrone and Marcella Jackson, based out of Columbus, Ohio. You can go to localmeatclub.com using the affiliate link in the description of this video and use promo code FreedomCow, all caps, so that they know that we sent you. and members can choose from fantastic locally raised and hormone-free aged Angus ground beef, ribeye steaks, breakfast sausage, bacon, and even raw butter and raw milk, which that's the way to go, folks. Try the family week's worth package that includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Also pick up Tyrone's book, Life's Little Handbook, 7 Steps to Finding Success in Life, which explores some of life's most challenging questions. Just 54 pages, simple and straight to the point. Join the club and experience the difference that fresh, life-supporting food makes. Use the link in the description and use promo code FreedomCow, localmeatclub.com. Yes, Freedom Cow. We're working on, Leonardo had his exclusive talking about possibly running for a school board. The new exclusive here for the Freedom Chronicles is we are working on t-shirts.
Wow.
Freedom Cow will be involved.
Awesome.
It's going to be fun. It's going to
Yay.
be super supreme, ultra mega maga.
Have you called for an update on Freedom Cow? Has he been turned into stakes yet? Or?
Yeah, we're not sure.
Not sure.
It's probably best not to look into that.
But that sounds worrying.
Keep a good thought.
We have the picture of Freedom Cow,
Yeah,
and that's what means. That's what means the most. He lives on in our hearts. Anyway, folks, we had a great show last night at Visani, the Simply Clapton show. We have another Simply Clapton show coming up at Visani the end of May, and we're doing the half Simply Clapton show and half Guitar Hero show this Friday at the stage in Bonita. You can go to MikeImbasciani.com for the full show schedule. And there are Simply Clapton t-shirts now, too. You can go to MikeImbasciani.com or SimplyClapton.com. It's the same website. And then you can click the link to find out how you can order your t-shirt, only available online, shipped directly to your door, and working on some Blues Rocker shirts as well. This video is from this past Saturday. We played the Stones and Bones Festival, like crab claws and ribs, bones.
Yes.
Anyway, it was a lot of fun. It was a great show. It was hot, but the crowd really enjoyed it. So enjoy this. This is Ain't Living Long Like This.
Trouble and I found his son, and down the barrel of a long man's gun. I try to run, but I don't think I can. You may be moving your dead man, friend ain't living long like this. you be like Sandra Deer. I wanna love her, but I don't know how. I'm at the bottom of the jailhouse now, ain't living long like this. I can't live it all like this, can I, baby? Know the story about a jailhouse rock. Don't wanna do it, but I don't wanna get caught. They got 'em all in the jailhouse, baby. Ain't living long like this, can I, baby? I can't live it all like this, can I, baby? Thank you very much.
There you go, folks. Little Ain't Living Long Like This, having a grand old time right here. Thank you, folks, for watching. And don't forget, we still got a little bit of show left here for you. But make sure that wherever you are watching this, you subscribe. If you're watching this on Rumble, subscribe to the Rumble channel and share it with your friends. And leave a comment down below. What do you think?
Well, the thumbs up is nice too. We appreciate those, but you can leave a comment.
Leave a comment. Let us know what you're thinking. You know what you're doing.
Add to the conversation.
Yes. Drop a question.
Yes.
Subscribe to the Freedom Chronicles on YouTube while we're still on there. And if you are watching this on
I've been
YouTube,
being good.
Yes, we've been all right. No cursing yet. Leonardo, watch your mouth now.
Sorry. Sorry.
Those-
God
it's-
forgive me.
Expletives aren't what gets us kicked off YouTube.
No, it's not. But if you are watching this on YouTube, take it over to Rumble and then subscribe on Rumble. If you're watching this on Conservative Television of America, thank you. Make sure you share CTA as well. On BitChute, I see you're watching on BitChute. There's a lot of you watching on BitChute.
Really?
Hit that subscribe button. On Brighteon,
Is that an
hit
app?
that subscribe
Is
button.
the BitChute an
I
app?
think the BitChute's just
Or
a
just a
website.
website?
I think it's just a website.
All right.
Yep.
Does it cost money?
No, I don't believe so.
All right, I'll check
it out.
Does it cost money?
Did you cost? I'm on a fixed income.
Yes, he works for a radio
I
station.
work in radio. That's it.
And on Instagram, follow the Freedom Chronicles on Instagram. You can find Leonardo that way on Instagram as well. And where else? Spotify. Follow the show on Spotify. On Venmo, you don't follow. You
can
just
follow.
donate.
But you can,
donate to the Human Fund on Venmo. They're at Mike-Imbasciani -1. We greatly
You
appreciate
can
it.
keep us followable by donating to Venmo.
Exactly. And but yes, Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Apple Podcasts is audio only, but on Spotify you can watch the video podcast on there. And join the locals community. That helps support the show as well. Just $5 a month. You get your first month free using promo code FreedomCow. We have the very nice bottom of the stack videos that have been coming out, and Mason was on the one last week, and I'm sure Leonardo will be on the one this week. It's fun, the little extra stories that we don't get to when we do these episodes. So, and we're working on some other content. I'm still waiting. I got that rant bubbling. I need some. Come on.
I know. I got
the people. They want the rant.
Yes, you do.
I'm just gonna have to rant. I've got rants in me, but
Yes.
I'm afraid it's stuff that I've already ranted about here.
It's okay. We love
So,
hearing it anyway.
It's still, if it's still considered
rantable.
rantable,
Yes.
I will rant about that.
Yeah, so you join the locals community, link in the description. Share that with your friends as well. That's the community. It's the community that people can join and let their voices be heard as well in a nice uncensored platform. So we'll get to the news here. The big news Tucker Carlson out at Fox. Now,
Yeah.
it's been a couple days.
It has.
What, Ken, your thoughts?
I watched a speech he gave. I watched a podcast he did with a couple of dudes whose names I can't remember.
Yeah.
And I think that plus it's the whole. I think the Dominion case had something to do with it. But then, and that whole Dominion case just looks weird.
Well, and we have
that they just decide. You're telling me, and the reason they gave, you're telling me that Rupert Murdoch coughed up $787 million because
he didn't want to take the stand.
testify.
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a load of crap.
Well, and we have this Turning Point USA put this out, and this was a quote somebody pointed out. So let me get this straight. BlackRock owns 59 million shares of Dominion and 47 million shares of Fox Corp. So BlackRock sues BlackRock, and suddenly Tucker Carlson is forced out.
Makes no sense.
No, I mean,
And
Leonardo.
I also think Paul Ryan had a lot to do with it because he's been pushing to move past Trump. I mean, they go out of their way not to mention him, and and again, Christina Pushaw for DeSantis's campaign has done a great job of doing what she did over in Europe as a foreign agent, working on foreign elections over there and getting a bunch of influencers together. And I don't know if Clay is, but I know Buck is one of the influencers. There was a big picture of all of them at a retreat that they had.
Well, and they did that. They just did something down at Fort Myers too.
Yeah,
the radio stations down there.
So that's fine, but you just kind of see how it's going.
Yeah, Leonardo, what did you think when you heard the news there?
So, little shocked, but at the same time, not really, because the Fox News Corporation really wanted to fire Tucker for a very long time. They just couldn't because they would go out of business if they did it. So,
and they are now. We have the picture
of
the stock. There it is. There's that nice little nosedive.
Was that okay? That was 2 days ago.
Yeah,
I wonder where it's at now. Yeah, there you go.
Right. We have a couple of these memes. We'll put we'll keep putting them up.
I think I bailed on Fox back in October of 2016.
Yeah,
that's when I saw them. Not their block programs, but I only watched a couple of the block programs.
Right.
And that's what I paid cable for, was just for Fox, really. And so I bailed on them, and they proved me right in what they did. Without cause, they just fire him. Well, they had a cause, but they're not saying what it is. We can all speculate on what it was.
Yes.
And what it mainly is, no matter how you slice it, they fired him for telling the truth. And they don't want the truth out.
Yeah.
They hate the truth. The truth makes them look like the rat bastards that they are.
Yeah.
So he had to go.
And,
wherever he winds up, if he winds up creating his own network, or whether he winds up at OAN or Newsmax,
allegedly,
he's
going to
make
him
a ratings
he has an
juggernaut.
18-month gag order from his contract that he can't
work
anywhere.
Non-compete.
Yeah, non-compete, and he can't make any comments.
Yeah, the
about
thing is that if he just kept telling the truth, then he would just get Fox News.
Really, an 18-month? I wouldn't have signed that.
I know, right?
I don't
and
believe
he was
that.
allegedly
I don't
up
believe
for
that.
contract negotiations too through
Who said
2029.
that?
I forget who it was, but I heard it last.
I don't
night.
believe that. I'm going to need documentation.
We'll find the
I
documentation.
need more than one source.
Robert F. Kennedy has a great tweet talking about Tucker Carlson. Fox fires Tucker Carlson 5 days after he crosses the red line by acknowledging that the TV networks pushed a deadly and ineffective vaccine to please their pharma advertisers. Carlson's breathtaking, courageous April 19th monologue broke TV's two biggest rules. Tucker told the truth about how greedy pharma advertisers controlled TV news content, and he lambasted
what?
Obsequious newscasters. Obsequious, thank you.
What does that mean?
Obsequious. What does it mean? RFK, big words! Big words!
I'm homeschooled, damn it.
For the newscasters, for promoting jabs they knew to be lethal and worthless. For many years, Tucker has had the nation's biggest audience, averaging 3.5 million, 10 times the size of CNN. Fox just demonstrated the terrifying power of big pharma. And that's true.
That
Babylon
probably-
B
yeah.
posted, Fox News fires the only reason people watch Fox News.
Yeah. I mean, really, Hannity, I've never been a fan.
No.
I don't know why. There's just
I like this one too. Tucker takes on new role on The View.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
But no, it's Fox. They deserve to die a Bud Light CNN style demise.
Yeah. Well, the Bud Light, Bud Light, we made a dumb move and lost millions of customers and
they're down
billions in revenue.
17%. Coors Light and Miller Lite are both up 17%.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Fox News failing and dying is kind of like symbolic meanings of the end of cable news. Like, really,
Right.
Yeah.
It really is. And I've said, well, Ken just
And
pointed out
the end of establishment.
Right,
of media.
of establishment media, exactly, because the whole point is people no longer watch the block of Fox News. They do what people do. They like who they like, and they'll tune in. Like, my dad likes watching The Five, likes watching Jesse, and likes watching Tucker. Everything else is off. It's not like the old days where you'd have Fox News on from Fox and Friends to Greta Van Susteren, at night, and it's on the TV all day long. Now
And
people
that became a habit, really, for most of America on 9/11.
Yes.
From 9/11, it seemed like, Fox was on 24/7.
Exactly.
Particularly at the radio station.
And I think that started going out the window when you think about when O'Reilly left and Tucker took over.
I was gone before that.
I know. But Tucker took over, and Tucker he became that media force. But that's when the block TV ratings started going down as well overall for the network itself. Fox, CNN, all of them, really. So now that they have to replace Tucker, it's going to be very difficult to replace Tucker because they need the name. It's no longer the time slot.
Tucker,
they've already
it used
lost,
to be prime time. And
They've
it's not
already
that
lost
anymore.
over 500,000 Fox Nation subscribers.
Good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
Tucker has averaged out to be like one with the highest ratings in all of cable news since
Because he told the
2020.
truth.
Yeah,
Right.
Because he had a primetime slot and he told the truth.
Let's just remember in 2020, when the BLM George Floyd riots came in, that's when I started watching Tucker.
Yeah.
When the BLM's George Floyd riots started taking in, everyone, left, right, Democrat, Republican, was saying, "Oh, what happened to George Floyd was terrible. Derek Chauvin should have never done that. We stand with George Floyd." And then Tucker was the only one who said, wait a minute. Do you remember
Look
Black
at the
Lives
facts.
Matters?
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah, exactly.
And Tucker used to just be a bow tie wearing dude I'd see on Sundays.
Right.
On the Sunday shows.
Dancing with the Stars.
And no, was he on Dancing with the Stars?
He was the first one kicked off, but yeah.
Really? Oh, okay. I didn't know he was on that. But, and so he grew on me.
Yes.
And he proved to me that he could be reasonably a trustworthy journalist. I still think that to a certain extent he maybe had some ulterior motives. I mean, he comes he's already a rich dude from his parents.
Well, and that's what I want to bring up real quick, and then we'll get into our Patriot and Trader of the Week. That's something very interesting. I recommend people go and read the full article of this. You can find it at mintpressnews.com and watch this, read this. Tucker Carlson, the elite pedigree of a brilliant cosplaying populist.
Now, understand, this article is written by a guy who I feel, after reading it, had he doesn't like Tucker.
No.
I think there's a certain amount of bias,
right? But
in
it's
the
about
spot.
when
But
you
again,
hear
when you look at the pedigree, you have to kind of wonder.
Well, and you connect the dots. People can change. Leonardo, you're a conservative.
Yes.
Your father is not. You might say he's an old school Republican and a neocon, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
You two don't have the same viewpoints.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
Tucker can be different than his father.
Yes.
But you have to also understand what Tucker has come up through and who his father is. And So this just the beginning of this article. Tucker Carlson is the hottest media personality in America, comfortably the most watched cable news show. Tucker Carlson Tonight is a ratings bonanza, with even former President Donald Trump said to be a keen viewer. Part of Carlson's appeal is that he presents himself as a maverick outsider, someone who thinks outside the box and is not afraid to launch tirades against the powerful and criticize the government and its foreign policy. We've all seen the clips. I think we all agree he's done a very good job at holding people's feet to the fire.
Yes.
Certainly, he does surprise many people, covering subjects other cable news hosts do not touch. However, on closer inspection, this populist everyman persona is all a facade, and that's where it's
kind of like DeSantis. Is that what
yeah, right, exactly like DeSantis. Carlson himself has deep connections to the government and the national security state that works hard to obscure the real centers of power, channeling popular rage towards safer targets. And he was born in California in 1969. He attended a number of private preparatory schools in California and New England, including St. George's School in Rhode Island, where it costs $46,000 to $67,000 a year. And Carlson is a blue blood through and through. His great uncle was Arkansas Senator William Fulbright, while his stepmother is the heiress to the Swanson Frozen Food Company fortune. That's got to be kind of cool, I must say.
Some TV dinners.
Right? In his early years, before his character changed, Carlson openly described himself as a trust fund baby.
We used to peel back the foil and just eat the dessert frozen. The brownie that was we wouldn't cook it. Just eat the bro. Oh, man,
that
it was
sounds
tasty.
good.
Very tasty.
That's high school food, isn't it? Right there. Quote,
actually, high school food is much worse now.
I believe it. Quote, Tucker said in 2008, quote, "I'm extraordinarily loaded just from money I inherited from a number of trust funds." So that's
he
where
admits it.
Yeah, at least he admits it. And this is the interesting part, and this I'll leave you with this. His father, Richard Dick Carlson, is an important journalist and high state official who was appointed by Ronald Reagan as director of the U.S. Information Agency, the USIA, the body that oversees government-funded media, including Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, Radio and TV Marti, and Voice of America, of which Dick was also the director.
Which
now
used to broadcast very conservative, would broadcast the good things about America,
right,
along with propaganda and
that's the word,
trying to drive a wedge into the people of the country that they're broadcasting.
Exactly, and that's the word, propaganda, exactly. And the USIA has since been replaced by the U.S. Agency for Global Media.
Yeah, there's going to be a new world order out there.
So together, these outlets are part of what the New York Times called a, quote, worldwide propaganda network built by the CIA, end quote. Their goal is to bombard enemy countries with regime change propaganda. And until the 1970s, the Radio Free Europe and Radio Liberty was directly funded by the CIA. So, folks, I recommend go read the rest of that article. And it's important to know not only who you're listening to, Tucker Carlson. We like what he says. Again, he can be completely different from what his father's been a part of, and working with things associated with the CIA, which, as we dig deeper, you listen to Whitney Webb, you follow her and what she's dug up with the government. So much corruption, everything is tied to the CIA and the FBI and all of these government officials within media with trying to be this propaganda arm and bring down America. So it's important to understand all of that. So I think there's a very big picture with what's going on with Tucker leaving Fox and with what is going to happen in the media moving forward.
Okay.
Anyway, time for Patriot and Traitor of the Week. There's going to be a very, might be a 10-minute long bottom of the stack video today because we didn't get to much of the stories. But Leonardo, you are the guest. Who's your Patriot of the Week?
Well, my Patriot of the Week is Tucker Carlson. That's what I say.
Very good. And what about him have you liked the most from what you've seen?
Well, Tucker Carlson has just been a hero to the American people for just such a long time, for all this struggle that America has had in recent years. Tucker was the only voice of reason.
I agree.
In the media.
Agree.
In every media of prominence, everyone else sucks, and there's only one guy, Tucker Carlson, who's actually speaking truth and is actually standing a ground against the deep state. I I hope him the best of the endeavors. I hope he moves to online media. That's where the future will be,
Yes.
most certainly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I agree. And it is good news. Don Lemon is gone. So on the opposite
Don
side
Lemon.
there. Don Lemon.
Don Lemon.
Don Lemon. And what was this
The
we had?
sour lemon.
Somebody posted this. MJ Morgan is a wizard on Twitter. CNN covering Tucker but ignoring Lemon, while Fox News covers Lemon and ignores Tucker is just chef's kiss on the post. It's hilarious. I love it. All right, Ken, who is your Patriot of the week?
My Patriot of the week is Roll Tape Ben Jose.
Oh, is this the lecture hall with Seymour Hersh? I'm looking for the one with Seymour Hersh because it's a policy and press hall event. So shouldn't we be talking about the Nord Stream since that's the biggest story of the century? And you guys, you have the executive editor of the New York Times there who came out with a phony story to try and block Seymour Hersh. It's just kind of funny how that happened, did you even acknowledge Seymour Hersh? All of you are executive editors of papers that broke Pentagon, My Lai, Watergate. Is this the same papers or not? Is there anything you've gotten right in the last 20 years, or am I mistaken about that? It's just kind of funny because Iraq, wrong. Syria, wrong. Russiagate, really wrong. Okay? The list goes on and on. So the last thing you could do to try and actually fix your reputation is acknowledge that through leaks, we had to find out that Zelensky was going to bomb Moscow on the anniversary. If you're so impartial, shouldn't you at least say, right, that Zelensky was going to bring us on the verge of World War III? That seems pretty fair. While Julian Assange rots in prison, all of you've got, fat checks because he's in jail for doing your job. And you know what? Tucker Carlson ain't no Seymour Hersh, but he did something you guys are scared to do. Speak the truth and actually be critical of the war, which is why he was actually fired from Fox, because you are all cowards. Every single one of you. None of you have actually had any relevancy. And you know what? The mainstream press is now dying. Nobody's ever going to listen to you again. You have no credibility with the public. Only people who care about what you have to say are elite, who have nothing productive to say anymore, and it's dying off. So will you at least say something, either about Nord Stream or Ukraine or the fact that Zelensky brought us to the verge of World War III, and the only reason we knew about that was through leaks? Go ahead. It's a free speech event, right? You guys are the press. Let's say something here. Mr. Khan, come on. You're the executive editor of the New York Times, I'm just trying to get into some good trouble here, man. Woo, listen, Karen, get out of my face for a second. I got to talk to these gentlemen. Well, I just want to...
I love it. Yeah. And they can't say anything. They're elite, and they have no answer.
It goes on a little bit longer. A couple of guys finally take him out and rough him up on the way out. He's screaming all the way out.
I'm surprised they let him go that long.
Yeah. But he's right. Jose Vega, I love the guy. And
Excellent.
that's what we need. Somebody who actually does stuff like that. That's journalism.
I love these rants that get you fired up.
Right? Oh, yeah. It's like a good old Steven Crowder Jigglypuff rant. My Patriot of the week, I'm going to give it to RFK here.
Yeah.
Robert Kennedy Jr.
Yeah. He's an old school Dem.
He is. And he's, again, perfect way to point out all the hypocrisy and BS of the Democrats, because it just came out here. The Democrat National Committee, the DNC, does not want to have debates. So he goes, quote, "Debates and town halls are part of the democratic process. We're living in a time when there's a lot of Americans who believe our democracy is broken." Again,
We don't live in a democracy.
We're in a republic. We're in a republic.
Save our democracy.
Yeah. No. And I think both political parties have to bend over backwards to start restoring faith in democracy and electoral integrity. And I love this tweet. Democrats have decided to not hold presidential debates in 2024. Why bother with debates when you have cheating mastered? This isn't about the voters anymore.
No,
and it's true.
It's all about
so the
ballots.
Democrats are not going to do it, which means Republicans aren't going to do it to screw over Trump as well and help Tiny D.
Oh no, they're gonna have debates. Trump's already said because they've already came out with where their debates are going to be and what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They didn't contact Trump or try and coordinate anything with
Oh, of
him.
course
They
not.
just threw it out there. Here's what
Yeah.
it is. And Trump has said, hey, I might not participate.
Maybe I just
needs
won't
it?
show up.
Yeah.
I won't show up to your stupid debate.
Yeah, maybe I'll have my own debates.
I'll have my own debates. I'll
We'll
play
just
them
have-
on the video.
it'll
I'll
be
pause.
Me against the sock puppets.
Yes, play, pause.
Like Fox News is failing, and they're gonna have failing journalists like Neil Cavuto to host the
Yeah,
debates. Like,
really. It's just
It's sad.
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 Sad. It's too bad. Too bad.
Yes.
Deep breath.
Anyway,
All right, are
but
we
no,
done yet?
RFK, almost.
Okay.
Leonardo, who's your traitor of the week?
Oh yeah.
Fox News Corporation.
Hey! Who would have?
now
Who
I
would
gotta
have thought? Who would have thought that CNN would outlive Fox? Really?
CNN should have died a long time ago, but
Mm-hmm.
they get too much support from the deep state, I guess,
Yep.
to die off. But Fox News doesn't because they had Tucker Carlson. But now they're still not gonna fund them. They're gonna die.
They're dead. Dead. But I do love one final talk about Don Lemon and CNN. We had this Babylon Bee. Don Lemon to continue job of lecturing people as a Starbucks barista. So there's that. There's something to look forward to.
There you go.
I want a large. You mean a venti? Ken, who is your trader of the week?
That would have to be Randy Weingarten.
Randy Weingarten, yes.
Yes, this broad who heads up the NEA. She is a threat. She doesn't have any children of her own, yet she is a complete and utter threat to children.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Sad. Speaking of threat to children, mine goes out to these doctors that continue to butcher these
They're not
children.
doctors, they're butchers.
They are butchers.
We need to dox
And-
them and
Yeah,
out them
butchers.
and publicly shame them.
The Post Millennial had this article, and Victor Marks, who I follow, I recommend a lot of people follow him on Instagram. An 18-year-old boy died when doctors tried to create a vagina for him using part of his colon. His colon was used because puberty blockers stopped growth of his genitals, which meant there wasn't even enough tissue to do the inversion surgery properly. So major complications began within 24 hours of surgery, and he ended up dying. Completely unnecessary, horrible things, and these doctors need to be held accountable. And those are true traitors to not only their country but to
I feel like going
their-
Liam Neeson. On
Right.
those rat
How ma-
bastard,
yeah.
butcher, mangala-minded doctors. you
How
know?
many
We will
people
find you. We have special sets of skills.
Yes.
how many people of the tranny movement has it killed so far? Like they just killed this boy with this surgery.
Mhm.
They must have
Well,
killed
who
a lot
knows?
with,
That may have
depression.
happened,
Yeah.
but there's also several stories that we've seen and talked about that of people that have girls that have had the transgender surgery and then grew out of it.
Yeah.
And realize what happened and then go back and say, look, none of these doctors, none of the psychiatrists said one word about any side effects or any bad thing. I just said, hey, I'm thinking about being tranny, and then okay, here you go. All right, no, you said, so here it is. Quick, but wait, no.
Yep.
Yeah, and
It's horrible.
Sick.
It is sick.
It's terrible because when they do go back, of course they're never going to fully be back. It's it's all irreversible.
And that is
Irreversible.
why no
Irreversible.
matter what, whether they do the surgery or not, the suicide rate is the same at 40%. For such a small demographic as it is, that is transgender, that is a huge number, that 40%.
Mhm.
And it's terrible.
Yes, because some of them like some of them when they transition and turn tranny, like some of them will not realize is that they're feeling so sad and depressed because they're transgender. And
Yes.
some of them are just not going to realize that. They're going to blame something else in their life. But the truth is that their transition, they made poor decisions that is life altering, and unfortunately many of them do end up committing suicide at the end of it.
Well, and at the end of the day, like you even stated earlier, Leonardo, people grow out of it.
Yeah.
They grow out of it, and they have to be given the chance. We got to wrap it up, but Leonardo, thank you for joining us on the show.
No
Hope
problem.
to have you again soon. Good luck with the Republican club there in school. Keep up the good fight and let us know. Hope to have you back on soon to talk about it.
Absolutely. I would love to.
Excellent. Ken, always a pleasure.
Thank you,
folks.
sir.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe everywhere. Follow it all everywhere. Share with your friends, because this is Freedom from the Bunker. Good night, everybody.
You're watching Conservative Television of America, working hard to stick socialism where the sun don't shine.